Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Himani Gupta and I recently cleared my CFA Level 1 exam. And today I will be sharing with you all the 5 big mistakes I did during my CFA Level 1 preparation that I wished I did not do. And in the end, I would also share one bonus tip with respect to your preparation. So make sure you stay till the end. So let's get started. The number one mistake which I did was not revising regularly. So I majorly focused on completing my syllabus. I watched lectures, read the notes from the book. But after that, I just said goodbye to that chapter and I did not revise it ever. So I studied for about 6, 7 months continuously, but then the revision month came 1 month before the exam. I kind of forgot everything. So basically revision is very important if you want to imbibe the concept properly, because when you study for the first time you feel like you are understanding those things, you know everything. But after some time, even after 1 month or 1 week, you forget things. So when some tricky questions are asked in the exam, you get confused majorly between two options, or you just start feeling like, oh, I have read this but I'm not able to remember. So that's why revising is very enough, and it also helps you in stop getting panicking just before your exam. Now, my second mistake is delaying practicing questions. So I majorly did my practice from the CFA Institute portal questions, and those questions are really good because they test the concept and test it in all the tricky ways. So when you practice those questions, your knowledge, your mindset, and your way of solving the questions becomes very good, and it strengthens your knowledge and concept. So however, I left all those questions till the end because again I was just focused on completing my syllabus. And what happened that I bookmarked a lot of questions that I wanted to revisit because they were, a little more tricky, more challenging, but I did not get time at the end to revisit them. And that's the reason I feel that once you complete a chapter, you should immediately practice questions from the portal. And whatever questions you bookmark, you should visit them at the end of your revision time, 1 month before the exam. And my third biggest mistake is focusing on numericals and just ignoring theory. So, not that I completely ignored theory, I did read all the chapters from the book, Schweitzer book, but I majorly focus on numericals. So, like numericals are majorly there in fixed income chapter, quants, and portfolio. So, I kept just practicing them and thinking about all the different ways this question can be made more complicated, or this concept can be asked in more complicated ways. So, I just kept focusing on that and ignored that I also had to, read theory in detail. So in exam, what happened when there were some theoretical questions, about 15, 20, I got confused in two options. So I felt that this could also be the answer and this could also be the answer. And I knew that I have read this question in the book, but I just couldn't remember it because I did not revise. And I think what we should do is, so we should focus on revising all the terms first of all. Like CFA level 1 has a lot of new terms in finance, so we should revise them thoroughly. And also we should read in between the lines. Like when we're revising, we should just go through each page in Schweitzer or whatever material you're studying from. And we also have highlighted things in a book, so we should go through them once again, even if it feels boring or we feel lazy. But theory is important because I felt that I got confused with a lot of questions, which I knew I had already read. Fourth mistake is getting distracted while watching lectures. So while I used to watch the lectures, I took coaching from Ashwini Bajaj sir. And when I used to take lectures, I really enjoyed his lectures, his teaching style. But because of distracted focus, I would just watch for 20 minutes and then I would again check my phone, or I would just go out and do something. I just kept getting distracted. So every 20 minutes, I would distract myself. And a lecture which would typically take 2 hours would take me 4 hours. Like I would take double time to complete those same lectures. So, and this did not just happen in lectures, it also happened while I was reading a book or I was just studying. So my focus was so distracted most of the time that I felt that I could have covered in much less time the same things if my focus were strong and my willpower was basically strong. So um, I think you need to stop distracting yourself and start studying in a session of 90 minutes per day. That's what I'm trying to do these days, but um, I kind of fail, but still I'm trying. I think it's very important because in the exam day too, you have to continuously, focus for 4.5 hours on the exam. And if your focus is not strong enough, you'll start losing energy. You start losing the ability to solve questions. So studying in the sessions of 2 hours, then taking a break, then 2 hours again is very important as a student. Because if we do not develop that habit, we eventually become very inefficient. And my fifth mistake is um, last month revision. So last month revision, I did not do very properly. The mistake I did was like I relied on shortcuts. So I would just revise from summary, the summaries which are given at the back of the Schweizer, or I would just watch the revision lectures. I would just try to find shortcuts instead of, just going through each page in my book and then revising, okay, what was this concept? What was that concept? What we call active revision. So I was kind of very passively revising because what happens with me, and I think a lot of people, that when they study something new, it is very exciting. But when we have to revise that same thing again, it becomes very boring and we start feeling, okay, like I'm not feeling good. I want something new. So we get distracted a lot. But if you feel distracted, if you feel unmotivated while revising, just remind yourself that if you revise this enough, if you revise this properly this time, and then once again, then this concept will be ingrained in you, and you will be able to answer anybody who asks you that question. So if you revise this, you will gain confidence that you didn't have before. So for that confidence, for that, knowing that you can do it, the kind of belief in yourself, you have to do revision, even if it's boring. So just set a goal why you are doing the revision, and then it wouldn't be so hard. Also focus on doing active revision. Now, the last and the most exciting thing, basically a tip that I would like to share with you all, is that um, the emotional part of a study preparation. So, whenever somebody talks about preparing for a professional exam or rather any exam, they usually talk about with whom you should take coaching from, how you should study, how much hours should you dedicate, and all those things. However, there's one another factor that plays a very important role in this journey is how does your mental system work? How does your emotional system work? So, um, like what happens that usually what happened with me that I took a break a 1.5 month before the exam from work and I started focusing on my studies full time. But in this time, what happened that I started overthinking a lot. I, you know, um, started comparing myself with other people, thinking that what I'm doing is worth it or not. And I started relying on my past, like all the bad things which happened in the past started coming to my mind. And then I focused, tried to find out on why is it happening. And I realized that when we are in a situation of anxiety or when we are in a situation of a fear of uncertainty, we start remembering all the bad things which happened earlier, and we start contemplating all the bad things that can happen because we are already in that state of uncertainty. So our mind goes into that negative mode. That's why it happens. However, whenever you start feeling that way, just remind yourself that um, to be able to succeed in anything or to clear any exam, all you have to do is just study very wholeheartedly and then revise it enough. And if you just put enough efforts in whatever you are doing, then nobody can stop you from getting that thing, right? It doesn't matter whether you have been able to do those things in the past or not, but right now if you just give 100% of your effort, even if it is improving your English, improving your cooking skills or your dancing skills, if you do effort you will get result. There's no doubt about it. So if you're getting any doubt about yourself, self sabotage, self doubt, feeling not worthy enough because of anything in the past, know that you deserve great things. All you have to do is just do effort in any area of your life you want to improve. So emotional things affected a lot me in my last month of preparation. And I remember that, 1 week before the exam, I was really, really, really anxious. Like I would wake up in the morning and I would start feeling anxiety in my stomach, and I would just spend 2 hours calming myself down for that, which usually doesn't happen with a lot of people, but it did happen with me because I gave a professional exam after a long, long time. And I just didn't know how to feel about it. Even on the exam day, the night before the exam, I could not sleep the whole night. And when I woke up in the morning, I was really tired. My whole body was paining. But I just knew that I have worked really hard in the past 8 months. And even though I could not revise to the best of my potential, I just told myself that I knew things and I can do this. So I just gave my all and I cleared this exam. I'm very happy. But I wish I do not make those same mistakes again in my future journey. And I hope even you don't do them. And if you have any questions about CFA Level 1 exam, you can just comment below, and you can even message me on LinkedIn or reach out to me on email ID. I'm always available to help. And all the best to you, all of you who are giving exams in November or in February, and have a nice day.